Hey guys, what's going on? This is Brian with Games Under Pressure, bringing you another episode of Maxed, the daily gaming series where we take a PC game, crank up all the settings as high as they'll go, and give you a glorious eye-melting 4K video. So today we're looking at Project Cars, and specifically we're looking at the weather in Project Cars. It's really cool. So before you start a match, what you can do is come up with 4 different weather patterns, everything from thunderstorm to overcast. You can see light clouds here and then clear, and that's the progression of the weather. That's the progression that the weather is going to take during the race. You can also set time of day, and you can set how fast the weather progresses and how slowly. You can also set how fast the time progresses. So what we did here is I went basically like a normal weather pattern. So starts out thunderstormy, and then that moves into light cloud, like overcast, light clouds, and then it comes to this clear sunny day. So what I did here was set the weather progression at a very rapid rate. So it'll cycle from rain to clear very quickly, or at least quickly as far as weather is concerned. I also set the time of day to progress very rapidly. So it goes from noon, which is when I started this game, to night, and then it starts the new day at 60 times the normal speed. What's really cool about this is the weather, when it changes, it's very subtle. I mean, there is a pretty long transition, so it's not easy to identify and say, hey, okay, that's where the rain ended, that's where the thunderstorm ended, and that's where things cleared up, or that's when it went from really stormy to clear. It's very slow, and even when I have the progression cranked up as high as I do, it is still really subtle. And typically you're not going to have the progression cranked up that high, but this is just a demo. I just want to illustrate what this looks like. And the weather in this game is decent. I wouldn't say it's crazy spectacular looking, but I think it definitely gets the job done. You can see the puddles start to accumulate on the track. All of those puddles have really realistic reflections too. You can see some water start to beat up on the car. In my experience, and maybe I just haven't been looking close enough, but it doesn't seem like that's impacted by the wind at all. So it looks like there's just beads on your car. And now you can see the weather is starting to dissipate a little bit. And you'll notice very slowly the puddles on the road are going to start to disappear. You can see the sun is coming out. So now we moved into the period of light clouds, and very soon you'll start to see the sun come up, which is really cool. And the sun then gives you completely different kinds of reflections, and the light looks completely different. What I also did was select the time progression. So I selected to have the time progress at 60 times normal speed, and I started this at noon. So what will happen is over the course of the race, for as long as you want to race, that day-night cycle will keep going through. And because you can set the different progressions at different rates, you could have it so that sometimes you're racing in the rain at night, sometimes you're racing in a clear night. So it's really dynamic in that way, really customizable. You can race however you want. We're coming up to a really cool part in the video where a few different factors are going to sort of coalesce. And the first is it's going to transition very slowly from light clouds to completely clear. So monitor the clouds above. You're going to start to see them move. And even when you have the progression so high, you can see the clouds really rapidly moving. But watch the transition here. And what's also going to happen is the sun is going to start to begin to set, at least. So you're going to get this confluence of events, which is really cool. And you're going to see some awesome lighting like that. You can see the lighting, the rays of the light actually go through the different tree branches and through the leaves. It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. You can see the trees casting those awesome looking shadows. It's a really good looking game, probably the best racing game I've ever seen. And you know, a lot of people out there might say, well, it's just visual stuff. I mean, it doesn't really impact much, and it actually does. When you're racing on the rain, it is very difficult you lose traction like you would not believe. And the varying levels of rain, you can go from like light rain to medium rain, heavy rain, thunderstorms. Each one of those brings different traction propositions, so you have to adapt based on whatever the weather is. The same is true with things like fog or haze, which limit your view distance, so you have to make decisions a little bit faster than you would normally. And I gotta say that the different weather effects really set this off in a realistic way. I would have preferred if the rain was a little bit cooler looking. It doesn't seem incredibly dynamic from what I've seen. I mean, it looks good, but it's not phenomenal. And you're gonna have to excuse my driving. I was more worried about how the game was looking and checking out the visuals than I was actually racing. Plus, I really suck at racing sims too. I'm more of an arcade racer kind of guy. But I hope this video just sort of gives you an overview of the really cool weather system in this. I think Slightly Mad Studios did a great job, especially, I mean, the level and the depth of customization is really something spectacular. So overall, I'm having a really good time with this game. If you're not into race sims, you know, definitely look elsewhere, because this is a fairly obtuse, I guess, in a lot of ways, difficult to get into racing sim. You can dial down some of the settings. So you can see that I have the guides on because I don't know what kind of speed I need to corner or anything like that. And there are even more options. There are a lot of auto assists here. So if you're not super comfortable with, you know, really in-depth racing sims, you can get into this a little bit. But at the core, I mean, the gameplay is still racing sim. And I just lost my bumper there. But overall, really enjoying it. If you like this video, I would ask that you subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It's going to allow me to keep bringing you videos like this every single day. Every single day I'm doing this. So come back, check it out, subscribe so you don't miss a video. I also am taking requests for games in our Maxed series. So if you want to see your favorite PC game, whatever that is, running in ultra settings, 4K, looking glorious, just let me know in the comments below, and I will try to get to all of those requests. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching.